Hey guys, this is Chris Fayte with Cheat the Game, and yes, you're seeing this right. Take a look. Dark Souls 3. Oh man, I was like a fat kid in a candy shop when I saw this. Gimme, 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 gimme. Had to have it. Had to have it. And you know me, as soon as I get it, I'm gonna go right into it and start hacking the hell out of it. So, I just thought I'd go ahead and get everybody started with getting some infinite health going, some infinite magic, and maybe some stat hats, and let's just get underway. I can't believe it's out. I got it. Yes. I've been aching for this game to come out. So let me go ahead and attach Cheat Engine to the game here.
It is called
Let me go ahead and clear the list. So I was already trying out infinite health, so I know it works. I don't know if it'll let me bypass this or not. Yep, it will. I'll create a new guy later. Oh, my bad. I still got to learn the, I use keyboard and mouse, so I still got to learn the controls. They still pop this thing up, like all Dark Souls. Popped this up, and I think that's Xbox top controls. But hey, that's cool. I figured it out. Just got to go look at the key settings, and we're good to go. Let me get this to the past the opening, and I'll be right back with you guys. Well, hell, we'll just leave it here. Man, I'm so happy this is out. I love the Dark Souls series. I'm a huge fan of it. When I saw this, I just said, oh man, I've got to have this game. The graphics in here are phenomenal. The gameplay looks really good. It's newly out, so you know there's still some mistakes in it here and there, but nothing of major note that I've noticed as of right now. But that's why you need me as a game tester. You don't get that many mistakes, because if it gets to me and you got mistakes in there, I see if I can find out how I can exploit it to use as a cheat. So be careful. So what we want to do, there's an enemy right up here. Now I do recommend that you do set your cheat engine to pause the game. Now I don't know if I'm the only one having this problem or not, but when I pause it, I have to manually unpause it in the advanced options. It'll pause, but I can't seem to get it to unpause. So if there's something else in here that gets it to unpause, I don't seem to know how to do it. So if anybody's got some info on that, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to bring up advanced options. I got my hotkey set to pause it, and we're going to use the advanced options to unpause it. Now I can go ahead and safely say that you can look these up on exact value. It's not a problem to do that. I haven't seen anything encrypted in it so far. You can find a lot of the stats in the dissect data structure as well. You can go, you mash your escape key and go to the stat screens. You can see all your numerical stats. And like I told you in the past, anytime these games have a stat screen, you can just have a field day in this screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead on a 4-byte look up 454. I've already did all and unknown searches, and see, I do all the hard work for you, and I provide you the easy ways. So that's what I'm all about. So we're just going to go ahead and put 454. Do the first scan. Let's go ahead and clear out anything, and let's go take a hit. There we go. Alright, now we got to match your pause button. I have to manually pause it through Cheat Engine, so make sure that you do that, or he's just going to keep welling on you. I haven't really figured out how to in-game pause it yet, so I've just opened the thing and I started recording right away. So I did hack a little bit of infinite health before I did that, but you know, I still just ain't got the controls down pat, so you have to forgive me on that. So we know we went down in value, and I really don't want to go look at it what it is right now, so I'm still just going to use decrease value. And you see here that we've got lots of display codes and an internal code, so I'm going to go ahead and pop all of those on here. And I'll show you a real easy way to bring up the internal value, how to find out which is the internal value. It's not like this for every game, but for this game it is when every time you try to change the display code, it's automatically going to revert back to whatever the internal code is, because it's constantly writing to that address. It's constantly writing, so it's automatically going to put it back. So keep that in mind. So we're just going to change it to something else, like 420. And the internal code is the only one that won't change. So let me go back. Let me unpause it. Let me kill this guy and unpause it. It only works when the game's running, so hang on. There we go. Alright, we know that first one ain't it, because it's changing. So while we ain't being attacked, let's try that again. So we're going to go 400 this time. Make sure the game is unpaused when you're doing this, or you're not going to get accurate ways of finding that internal code. And you see when we hit the internal code that all the others will follow suit. But all of this right now is display codes. Well, that one changed for a minute. I thought that might be it, but it didn't stick. So. And there we go. You see how when we hit the internal code, all the others followed suit? You see that? That's the difference between display codes and internal codes. You got so many different display codes. You got bars, you got in character menus, things of that nature. All these are taking their orders from that one specific address. So we don't really need the display codes for this. We just need the internal code, because that's how we manipulate our guy. We can go ahead and turn on infinite health so we can take damage and not be killed. So we can go ahead and finish our cheat up. Make sure also that your debugger in the settings is set on hardware breakpoints, a max of 4, and we want to go ahead and use VEH debugger for this. So make sure that this is tick mark, not Windows debugger. We want to use VEH debugger. Okay. So getting back to it, let's go ahead and find out what writes to this address. And you see here how it's constantly writing. And that is the correct offset and the correct registry. But we want to find out where we're being subtracted at right now. Okay? So let's let this guy hit me. Now we're going to kill him. Okay, we need to find another, a couple more enemies. Maybe I shouldn't have killed him right away. Oh well. But this is where it's subtracting. You saw he hit us one time. So we're going to go ahead and stop this. And bring this up in memory view. And you see here, this is where it's writing after we've been hit. Let me just, yeah, that's right. So we see RAX, right above it, RAX is sending the new value to EAX. And EAX is writing that value into our health. So what we want to try to do, if we go back to the stats screen, is we want to see if we can find our cap. We want our cap always writing to our health, if we can possibly do that. Because, you know, when we go up in levels, then our cap's going to go up. So we want that new level to always write in there. So when we go up a level, let's say it goes up to 600, we want 600 to be right. We don't have to keep changing it each time we go up a level. So that's why we try to find our cap to write to those addresses. So that's what we want to do. This is the health cap. This is our normal health of what we are right now. This is our max health, also known as the health cap. So I'm going to close this on down, and we need to right click on that address, find out what addresses this instruction accesses, also a breakpoint on access. And we can just leave it on 4 byte, because these are 4 byte addresses we're looking for. And we're just going to go whack a couple of enemies here. I wish I didn't kill him with one hit right now, but he's just pretty strong, so I don't even have a one-hit kill on or anything. We don't really like using dead enemies, but it can still work. it just might take a little bit longer to find an offset. But that's why we write several of them down, so don't really matter. Alright, let's go ahead and highlight all three. You can see here's us and here's our enemies right here. Now they are dead, so we're going to have to be careful with what we look for. So open dissect data structure. Now you notice here that it only sets it at a 4-byte ratio. Okay, but you can see our addresses are more than 4 bytes long here. Or you can see that there are more bytes to that address than what is shown. So we have to go in and manually put in these extra bytes for our address, or we're not going to get any results. You could get unnamed or undefined structure error code if you don't put in. That usually means because you didn't put in the correct address, or you didn't completely put in the full address. So as you see, it knocked off the 7FF5, so we got to 7FF5 every single address before we can continue. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to hold it right here for a second so I can save what I've already recorded so far so I don't lose anything. I'll be right back. Well, while I'm thinking about it also, I want to thank all my friends, my new friends over at guidedhacking.com. The owner of the website is kind enough to open me up a thread all of my own over there for a lot of my tutorials over there. So I'll be posting tutorials there a lot. I went over there myself to check their site out originally, and I was just skimming through and just reading a few posts here and going through a couple of their tutorials. I started about 11 p.m. and I really got into it. I started looking at a lot of the posts. They go into a lot deeper methods of game hacking beyond Cheat Engine. They go into C++ programming, some C# I saw. Also, they use things like IDA Pro, and which you can also use Ollie Debugger, things of that nature. It's always good to widen your variety out and not just limit yourself to things just like Cheat Engine or something like that. And it's just a treasure trove of knowledge over there. Just very knowledgeable people, very cool people over there running that site. And I really recommend that you go over there, sign up for a free account, and check these guys out, because they really know their stuff and they're really good, and you can learn a lot over there. And the more you know, the more you can do. That's what I've always been saying. So even I'm learning over there as well. So go check them out. And like I say, I'm not even getting paid for this. That's how much I think of the site. But like I was saying, I was looking over at the clock after, because I thought it was about 11:30, because I was going through a lot of their posts and everything. And I looked over and it was almost 3 a.m. I said, I could not have been over here for that long. It's really that good. So go give these guys a look, because I promise you, you're going to be really impressed. You're going to learn a lot over there. Okay? And tell them Chris Fayte sent you from Cheat the Game. Alright, we're going to get back to what we're doing here. Now, it's already minus the offset for us. Okay, so we know that the very first one, it puts it in order of how we found it. So we know the very first one is us minus the offset. That's at its 0 value in that particular registry. I believe that registry, RBX. This will be the RBX registry. We want to go ahead and change the group from our hero and separate our enemies. Just double click on that, and now we have our hero over here in group 2 and our enemies over in group 1. We want to go ahead and define new structure. There we go. Let's kind of spread these out just a little bit. And what we want to do first, we want to make sure we find our health value, which was on the shelf location, which is also an offset. I call it a shelf just for you guys, some of you newer guys. I explained that registries have tons and tons of shelves on it, and these offsets that you see over here is a different shelf location that stands for something. Like for, let's see, D8, I call that shelf location, which is an offset. D8 right here. That's everybody's health value. That's our health shelf, so to speak. So we're going to go to our health shelf and we're going to name that health. And look at all these values we got going on here. Let's go back to our character screen in the game. Alright, we see that our cap is 454, and look underneath it here, we got some 454s. So I don't know exactly which one is the cap, but let's go ahead and put that over onto our cheat engine. Hold down control so we don't have to select everything. And we're going to add to address list. And let's just go over and change one of them and see what it's affecting. I'm going to change that to 430 and go back over. Oh look, there's our cap. It's affecting our cap. So we know that we found our cap. That's what we wanted in the first place. So we want our cap to keep riding to our health, because you know when we go up a level, our cap's going to go up. So we want it to write that new cap. So we're going to remember DC. I'm just going to write that down. Here's all. Well, let me just put it here. I can find it better here. Health cap. We know that's health cap. Well, let's just kind of nose around just a little bit while we're here and see if maybe some of these other values might be in this particular registry. We see a 93. That's the FP. That's kind of like our magic, I guess. And look right below. Look right here, right below it. 93s. Well, I know one of them's got to be our FP, and the other's got to be a cap. Not sure what the third one would be, but let's put all three of them onto our cheat engine by highlighting them. Add to address list, or you can use the hotkey A. And let's just go change one and see what it affects. I'm going to put that down to 90. And let's just see what happens. Oh, look. Yep. We just found our magic. Okay. That's our FP, it's called in the game. So we know that we can find we can go ahead and start a hack for our magic as well. So I'm going to go ahead and label that magic. FP. And let's see which one the cap would be, because we want the cap to write to that one also. Let's change that one to 90 and see if that affects something. Let me lock that one because the cap's always writing to itself. So there it is. That does affect the cap. Alright, so we know that right below it, which is on shelf location E8, is our magic cap, our FP cap. So we're going to write that down. Look at all these values we're finding. We didn't have to go look it up, and we're just finding them easy, and we can just get on with our hacking. Lovely, lovely, lovely. One guy wrote me and said, "This ain't hacking, this is just pure up cheating." Well, duh. Did you notice the title of the channel, by the way? Cheat the Game. Alright. That some people are just, even in your own single player game, some people are just dead ball against it. Hey, everybody's got a right to feel however they want to feel. Just don't get in my face about it. Alright. Couldn't care less. Let's see, look at this. 216, 197, 198. Look at this. Look at this right here. We got those same type values right here. So it looks like our resistance, these look like these are our resistances to bleed, poison, frost, and curse. These are defensive stats. We can put that to our cheat table. Same way. And you can go name those, like the bleed, resist, and so on. So I'm not going to do that. I just don't want to take up too much time. But you get the idea. Look at all these stats we're finding just right here using the one health code. You can find just all kind of things. Like I say, that's when you have a stat screen like this, you can have a blast, because usually they're all, or most of them, are located within the same registry. That's why you can use just one of them and find the rest of them. And if you really patient, you can go through and try each one, see what it affects, and then go from there. I always encourage you, just go play around in the dissect data structure. You can find all kind of cool stuff. And we're not going to do any more right now. Right now, we're just going to go find our, we're going to go find our offset for the health. And like I always show you, you can view the color codes in view and settings. And I changed my group different to black to help me see it better. And we're just going to write down a few of these. And what I try to look for is zeros and ones. Sometimes those are more constant. We see that that's at 84. And I put it like this, 0/1. So over here is our hero, and over here is our enemies. And that way I know which one to make jump if not equal if I use that one, jump if equal if I use that one. And I want to go through and see if I can maybe find some more zero. I think I hit the pause button by accident again. Let me go ahead and unpause it. Alrighty. And let's go through and see if we can find some more. I try to stay away from things like this. It's possible that could move up 5. I mean, yeah, you could use that, but you know, you want to get a lot of them. Zeros and ones are usually pretty good because sometimes those are flag type values, like still alive, dead. You know, I don't know what it means, but usually zeros and ones are more flag type values that remain constant. So that's why I like using that. And a lot of times when I just cannot find a group difference, that's when I go start looking for strings of F's. Usually those remain constant. So you got to get really creative sometimes. I think my zero's set on some kind of, every time I match a zero, oh no, it's the slash button. I put it on slash. I forgot I did that. Yeah, I gotta watch that. Okay. So for right now, I'm not going to go through, but I do recommend putting you down about at least 10 of them. At least 10. That way you got a lot, because I promise you, you're probably not going to find a good one right off the bat. If you do, you just consider yourself got extremely lucky. Alright? And you can also use enemies that are the same. So, but we're not going to do that. And what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and use this 16C, because I've already used it and I know it works for right now. It may change later in the game. That's why we have more offsets wrote down. And you can also use it in your own script. You can write these offsets in your own script as well to go back and look at it for a reference later. Highlight the script. Click on Tools. We're going to go to Auto Assemble, to our pre-made templates by Darkbyte, which we're thanking for. And we're going to go with array of byte injection. And we're just going to label this health 1. We may have to go manipulate that other code that's writing to it all the time. I don't know yet. But for right now, we're just going to do it like this. We're going to go ahead and put that to allocate just 100 places in memory and not 1,000. Okay, so we know here we called our array of bytes health 1. That's the name of that very first byte right there. Is health 1. And it's looking for this in the module. A module scan helps Cheat Engine find this array a lot easier because there's so many modules that the game could run on. A module, and I didn't really explain this, but you got lots of modules that are actually in the game. I don't know if you've ever tried to look up a pointer before, but you'll see more modules than just this right here. You'll see things like thread stacks and other DLLs that the game's also running and looking. Anything that's running this game is open for Cheat Engine to look in. So it's looking in thread stacks, it's looking at graphical codes from DLLs and other things. So you can really see all those and when you look for pointers in other ways as well. So we need to instruct it just to look at the exe file, because that's where our health is. That's where we want it to look. That's where it's writing our health. And to bypass all those other areas, and that way it finds it quicker. When you just do just a regular AOB scan, that's the reason it takes longer, because it's searching not only this module but all modules, and it takes a lot longer for it to find it. So that's why we do a module scan instead, to direct Cheat Engine to that specific module instead of all those other DLLs that's also running with the game. I hope that made sense. I did have a question about that, and I realized that I did not explain modules very well, and I apologize. But that's what it is. There's more than just this exe running the game. You got all kind of things running the game. You got DLLs running the game. You got music files in the game. You got thread stacks running. I mean, you just got all kind of shit running that. So, but we just want to direct it to a specific module. That way it ain't got to do all that scanning. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and write our CMP. We know that we are in the registry of RBX. So we're going to go ahead and put that offset. Also, I call it a shelf location of 16C. There we go. And what do I want it to compare at 160? Well, I want it to compare my hero at 0. So I'll just put 0. And I want cheat engine to jump if not equal to code. That way it'll send all my enemies to take away their health normal. And we want to manipulate it for our guy. And we already stated that we wanted it to write our cap. So we're going to go back to our dissect data structure, because Chris foolishly did not remember what shelf location that was on. But he was good enough to write it down for me. There we go. It's on shelf location DC, offset DC. We want that cat to always write to our health. So we're going to use that shelf to write to our health. So we're going to go up here, and we're going to have EAX modified before it actually writes to our health. So we're going to go in here, RBX plus DC. That's the shelf location of our cap. I'm sorry, I should have put EAX first. Remember, anytime you move, it's always going to replace whatever's on the left with whatever's on the right. So that means we're telling it to move the value of whatever's in this address into EAX. So whatever EAX is right now, it's going to be replaced by whatever value that is. If I was to put add right here, it would add that value to EAX. If I put subtract, it'll subtract that value from EAX, and then EAX is going to write it to our health. Okay? So move means to replace the value. Move it into EAX and do away with the old value. So let's go see if it works. And we're going to assign that to the current cheat table. And let's go ahead and label that Health 1 test. And let's just go see if when we get hit this time, if we go all the way up in health. So let's go find an enemy somewhere. Oh, I'm so happy this game is out. I just can't tell you enough. You can tell I'm excited. Now take a look at our health bar. Okay, it didn't go up. That's because I still have it on up here. Turn that code off. Now do it. Okay, it's not going up, so we do have to go fix it. And this is going to happen. This is going to happen sometime. So turn it off. And let's go take a look at it again. Make sure... there was our mistake. What did we not do? We did not tell it to jump to do mem. Always, 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 before you even write your script, make sure you're following what your script is doing, or you'll fall into that trap too. I do it all the time. I still make that mistake, as you just saw, and I literally made a mistake. I didn't do that on purpose. I literally screwed up there. So, but I will show you my mistakes, because even guys that know more of what they're doing still make these little errors, and we got to go back and backtrack. So I always say pay attention to what you're doing. That way you can avoid these little scenarios and pulling your hair out like I do sometimes. So alright, now let's turn it on. We have it jumping to new mem to run our script. Now then it'll run code for our enemies. As you see up here, when we turn on the health script in memory view, it just created a jump. You see that? It created a jump right here. I showed you that earlier in another vid, but for you newer people, that's what it does. It creates a jump, and it's going to jump to that place in memory that it created for us, that we allocated. That 100 places in memory that we allocated. We can actually follow it and see our script, be it where it's running our script. That's pretty cool. I love that. So let's go ahead and go back to the game. Let me unpause it. And look at that, our health went all the way up. He's sitting there whacking the hell out of us here, and it ain't doing them no good. And now we're just going to whack him back. Boom. Dead. Sorry about that. And we can go, now we can go do things like that for our magic and everything else. We just find out what writes to that address, make sure you get the right code, and just go on from there. XP. I'm not sure if it has an XP on here yet, but I'd have to look for that. Maybe put that on another vid later. But as you can see, you can find a lot of your values. We've already got infinite health. Ah, come on, Chris. I want to see that boss. I think there's a boss up here somewhere. This game is so cool. I am so happy this thing's out. You know I'll be doing this for a long while. I just love the Dark Soul. Look at this guy. Oh, that's a good. Oh hell, we're losing health. I don't know why. Hang on. Why are we losing health? Ah, we didn't have health on. God, Chris, what's wrong with you, D? Let's go ahead and unpause it. There we go. We're back. Yeah, I make a lot of mistakes. I never claim to be perfect. I just try to be. Oh! You know, I think we can also find stamina this way too. Hang on, let me... I think that green might be like a stamina or something, you know? Let me take a look. Let me take a look and dissect data right quick. Look at that. That's stamina right there. See that go down to 4? Just go down to 4 right here. Let's add that to the address list. Let's see what's writing to it. We'll just grab that right quick. Unpause it. Going back up. Going back down. Repause it. And there we go. At FO, and you see we already found it at FO, so we know that's stamina. Finding all kind of values, just quickly, easily, not having to do much searching, and we can go in there and modify it too. Looks like that below it is our cap for our, just like the others would be. So we can have it automatically write our cap to there. So we're going to go ahead and quickly do that. And this is how quick you can really do these things. Let's go ahead and make sure nothing else is bouncing off that code. I always recommend doing that first, just so you can save yourself some grief later. Man, this game is so awesome. Oh man, this game is awesome. And it does look like there's something else writing. There's another address that's bouncing off that code, but it could possibly be related to stamina, which wouldn't really hurt it that much if it went to 95. So, but if you want to get an offset, feel free to go look for it. I'm not going to do it right now because it don't look like that's really going to affect anything. I'm just going to go ahead with the cheat. So we're going to go ahead and auto assemble AOB injection. Stamina 1. And we're just going to affect it directly. Move RBX plus this offset F4 right here. That's our cap. And you see I get a mess up here. Sneaky Mofo shows you how to deal with this mess. Unfortunately, I just hadn't done it. So, and we wanted that moving into EAX. I did it again. I'm always bad about doing that, but we want it. Remember, it's always going to change whatever's on the left. The right will change the left. All right. So we want this value wrote to this value. Then that very same registry is going to be writing to our stamina. Assigned to the current cheat table. Let's go ahead and name her. Look at that. Infinite health, magic, and stamina. All with one code. Didn't have to go look up anything. And no matter what we do now, look at that. Our stamina is staying. Nothing's coming off of it. And see, if I turn it off, I'm going to do the same thing, look. See? So now we got infinite stamina. That's how quick and easy you can find these things. And you see that we got all kind of stats in our dissect data structure. And we can go play around some more. I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to go ahead and close out the video, because I could just, you know, be hacking these things for hours. But that's how you do it. Just that quick and easy. You saw stamina. You see magic. We can do the exact same thing once I figure out how to use magic. And, it's the exact same way. And usually nothing's right into the magic either. You do it the exact same way I just did stamina. Boom. We got infinite health, infinite magic, infinite stamina. We can go on with XP, stats, whatever else we want, gold. It's real easy. Bags you straight up. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining me here. And I really appreciate all you guys that come back and follow me and keep up with the tutorials, that are learning. You guys are awesome. I got 200 subscribers now, and I always say that that's 200 awesome people in the world. Now, I know there's more awesome people out there. They just have to find me. Only the awesome people will subscribe. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and make sure to check out my friends over there at guidedhacking.com. I'm telling you, you will learn a lot. Those are some great people over there. You guys take care. Keep on hacking. Most importantly, please enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. You cheat the game, fellas, because believe me, they don't mind cheating you. Take care now. Man, I can't believe it. Dark Souls 3's out. Yes, yes, yes.